Guys, welcome back to our newest episode of JW Reads. Today I'll be reviewing Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir of a family and culture in crisis, by J.D. Vance, published by HarperCollins in 2016. Now, before I begin the review, I feel obliged to mention that the book contains some inappropriate content for younger demographics, so please be mindful when reading this book or purchasing this book. This story this narrative is an explanatory book which goes through the life and experiences of J.D. Vance as well as the greater white Scot-Irish Appalachian working class. It's a memoir book with a narrative structure. It explains the political significance of the tribulations facing a largely overlooked ethnicity. The book is an account of the trials and accomplishments of J.D. Vance, while constantly reminding the reader of the conditions that enabled and continue to enable such experiences as his childhood and the childhoods of those who were brought up around him. While dabbling in political theory, Vance takes us through his inconceivably harsh childhood, his extremely trying teenage years, and his rise to the upper class against all odds. He recounts his mother's addictions, both to men and drugs, his grandmother's good intentions, which largely contributed to his success, his experiences with our public school system at its worst, and our military at its best, and the role of higher education in his career. He goes on to discuss his adulthood choices and the impact they had on his life. A life that perfectly models the true essence of the American dream. I went through and tried to make some relations to Vance's text. When he goes through and describes his experiences in his memoir, I personally see connections through our roots that we share in Scot-Irish families and our largely Southern views on the world. What I haven't experienced but learned about through his book has opened my eyes to the suffering of all classes of Americans, rich and poor alike. The problems discussed in Vance's memoir, they continue to plague not just the area of Vance's childhood, but a large part of the entire world. You see the problems that Vance describes in a lot of places while you're going through places not only in the US. If you're traveling and even in your hometown, you see the problems that he describes, and you know that his descriptions of them are valid. And his political policies and worldview are a direct result of the life experiences that he describes in this book. A better understanding of said experiences would better our understanding of the character of Vance, and because of his recent rise as of 2024, the 2024 election, to the role of Vice President of the United States of America, this is of even greater importance. It's important to understand our political leaders, because when we're able to understand them, it helps us determine whether or not we believe they're doing the right thing. It helps us understand what makes them a political leader. It helps us determine whether or not we agree with them, and why they're doing what they do. It helps us understand why they're putting their policies into place. Understanding them helps us understand what they do and why they do it. This book is attempting to sum up everything that the white working class faces, and it's a lot. It's trying to inform those people who lack the knowledge, the greater population of voters in the United States, of problems that are unaddressed by those they vote into office. Those people, they need to be aware of the changes needed in Vance's neck of the woods, his home. And Vance's life story is written to give those who started out like him a bit of hope, a reason to go on living, a goal to strive for, not just surviving, but thriving in the greatest civilization, in the greatest country, living the American dream. This book was a true page turner. I can barely wrap my mind around the bizarre reality experienced by Vice President Vance and many of his fellow American citizens. It truly changed my perspective on not only my life, but also what it means to be an American and live the American dream. I've always been interested in politics, but with the recent election, I became even more aware. That awareness led me to this book, and because of the election results, I appreciate that I chose to read this book, especially at this time, and because of what this time means in relation to what Vance discussed. 5 out of 5 stars. So, that's all I have for right now. Let's put a bookmark in it for now, and I'm out.